Welcome back to East Coast DNA for another bonus episode with a new Pictou County band, Whygo. Hello, guys. Thanks for coming over.
Thanks for having us.
So, being a Glasgow resident, I'm aware of you guys. I did see that you had a couple shows here in the recent months, I guess. Actually, I don't know if I posted any for the podcast, but my personal Facebook had some live clips of you guys from the show at the Spot. That was a fundraiser.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you did a lot of covers in that set and nailed them, by the way.
Thank you.
I did comment to a few friends of mine that would be of my age because of some of the song selection that you had. It was varied, but you were nailing like Chili Peppers and Nirvana.
Yeah.
And the name Whygo, is that from Pearl Jam or?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It is.
So did you guys start off doing Pearl Jam covers like originally?
No. So, we actually had. I had a friend from university who loved Pearl Jam,
Yeah, okay.
and somehow it came up that I never really had gotten into their discography. So he came to our house for the first time and brought 10 on vinyl, their debut album.
Yeah.
So we all listened to it and fell in love with it, and it like shifted our whole love for music and everything. And so it's never that we do one Pearl Jam cover, one or two, but it wasn't that's what it was for, but that's what really inspired
It's
us
inspiration,
to do this. And Why Go is 2 words. Is a song on 10, and so we made it 1 word and just a little tip of the cap.
Cool. Well, I got the reference right away anyway, so
That's awesome. Yeah,
it worked at that level for sure.
Yes, yeah.
All right, so maybe if you guys want to take turns with the mic and just introduce yourself and what you do in the band.
My name's John. I play bass in the band.
And how long have you been playing?
Wow. I actually haven't been playing bass that long.
Okay.
I played guitar for like 10 or 11 years. I think me and Brady figured out the other day. We've all kind of jammed together, like always. Like me and Brady grew up together. They're actually cousins. So we've all kind of grew up playing music and stuff in our teens and, early teen years. And we all played guitar and everything. And when Tanner finished university, we all got a house and we decided to do this, so we needed a bass player. So I just hopped on the bass and learned her up. And
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm Tanner, and I play the drums, and I've been playing I think I started. My dad was a drummer, so he started me off pretty early playing drums. But it's hard to have a drum kit at university and stuff, so kind of got away from it. But then kind of naturally fell back into it when, Brady wanted to jam when I got back around Pictou County, and same thing. John picked up the bass, and it kind of just filled the roles that felt like we were supposed to.
And where you guys are local, I have to ask them. The father being a drummer, would he have been in any bands around here?
yeah, he's gonna love this, but he was in a band called Bad Habit.
Okay.
And they played all around. They played, I would say, around the Maritimes, but they played in Battle of the Bands and everything, the Lobster Carnival and all that stuff.
Awesome.
They had 2 lead singers that ended up doing very well. J.D. Fortune was one of them, and Dave Gunning.
Oh, well, there you go.
At 2 separate times, obviously, but yeah.
A nice little throwback for some of the listeners, because we got a little mix of people that have been following the podcast recently, so that's a cool little shout out.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm Brady. I play the guitar and do the vocals, lead vocals. I've been playing since I think I started in like 9th grade, so whatever that adds up to, like 7-ish, around there probably for when it was. But I've kind of had a varied journey, I suppose, as a guitar player, musician. I've done like kind of the nitty gritty, and I've kind of done the top of the line sophisticated, or at least attempted my best shot. But yeah, it's kind of cool that we all come from such a different place, I suppose, in terms of like when we started, how we got there, if we stopped and came back, because I'm one of those guys that quit playing when I was 8 or something. I got a guitar and stopped and then started again. But we've all had this little gap period, I guess. So it's kind of cool to see how we all ended up.
What got you
in the
back
same-
into it when you got away? Like getting away from it, everybody has a million reasons to get away from everything.
Yeah.
But what got you back into it? Was there something specific that happened, or?
Well, I was 8 years old and probably just a bitch. Just lazy probably, but actually it's weird because it's just kind of the smallest thing. I think that one of the smaller things that's ever happened that had such an impact, but literally just my sister's friend, my older sibling, had a friend over and they were just strumming along some acoustic songs, and I was just kind of thinking about this guitar I had hanging up on the walls, like I never used that, so I took it down, and it was like the next day onward I just tried to learn a song, and then, just kind of a classic story almost. But
Yeah.
Immediately went into every Led Zeppelin song.
well, there could be that too, yeah.
And so now, like I mentioned, some of the covers that you were doing, but you have a single that's coming very soon, February 3rd, is it?
Yeah.
So why don't you tell me a little about how you guys got to the point that you're recording and you have an original song. I assume you have a few other originals that you've banked now too. So yeah, give me a little idea on how you got to that point and who you've been working with and what you have planned for the next few months maybe.
Sure, yeah. So like we said, like we started this year, it was all kind of just turn of fate in a way, but we started jamming together for, I think, a summer thing that we were doing at a family event, and we all got together on like acoustic guitars and stuff. We actually had Tanner's dad hop on the kit, but we played that show together, and it was just a very evident feeling that we all had in terms of we meshed together, we've got chemistry, and we are capable of writing something really good if we put our heads to it. So from there on out, we would drive out to this practice space like 20-25 minutes away from town in the summer and outgoing of the summer, and we'd practice. But we had been, like you said, doing our cover shows and doing our cover set lists and working those up, and a lot of those were feeling really nice, and just the fact that we were playing together was, it just, more and more as time went on, seeming like it was fluid and it felt right. So then when we started trying to draft some originals, we had like a tune or two. We thought they were pretty cool. We thought these are definitely at least good enough to present, but then somebody, I think, just started hopping on a draft of something they were working on, and they ran it through, and we were like, oh yeah, that feels sick. And for this song in particular, the single, I said, can I show you guys something? They said, sure. And so I stood up to the mic with acoustic guitar, I believe, yeah. And started strumming out the first chords, started singing, and naturally, as, the jam goes, the drummer starts laying down a beat, and it starts just kind of flowing in with this this idea of, like, something's about to happen. So we start leading into the vocals, and eventually we're all three together, and it really just flowed through. If you're jamming or whatever, it doesn't have to be perfect, but we kind of just straight shot to the end of the song, and we're like, that's going to be the...
Yeah, that first one came together really quick.
Yeah, here, I don't want to take too much of it. I'll save part. I'll let you guys have some of that.
Well, I just want to say, like, some of them, I mean, since that was what started it, was this first song that's coming out on the line. It's called On February 3rd. This is the first one that it really felt like, okay, maybe this is what we should do. Maybe we should start taking things seriously, and because it was kind of like you were saying, like, it wasn't perfect, and obviously we made changes to it, but I would say 85 to 90% of the song is the same as it was, when we jammed it all the way through the first day.
Awesome.
And but I mean, that said, the second one that we have that we're getting ready to go in and record. I mean, we have a few, but the second one that we're going to record, that one was a bit of a headache, So it goes from one being so easy, all the way through to you're pulling your hair out. The other one took us like 2 weeks to get through it, to be like, okay, it's almost there, you know. So, but it's, you know, it's been a really good journey, and you know, we're just learning more and more every time, and learning how to write and play with each other.
Yeah.
You don't want any of that?
Oh, I can say something. Yeah. No, it's yeah. This song was it was fun to write when we just started jamming it that first night, and like I said, like I haven't been playing the bass for too long, but your guitar skills kind of come into it. Obviously, it's a scaled instrument like that, but I think we laid down one bass line, and then Tanner added in a few more drum things, and that was like the few things we changed before we actually went into the studio. And then actually being in the studio and changing things was like the funnest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Like, amazing experience. It's awesome being in there.
Different experience than jamming it out and tweaking it as you go along.
Yeah,
actually
exactly.
have it and
Yeah.
playing it back and everything too.
Yeah, we did a lot of work with Mark Kosh from Shoebox there where we recorded it, and he helped us out like a bunch with this song, and yeah, we appreciate it a lot. Like, he made that song in the recording exactly what it needed to be. Like,
So do you think now that you've gone through that experience that when you perform it now you'll have a different sound to it when
we
you
actually,
perform?
well, I think we did.
Sure, and we have.
Yeah, we did play it our last show at Shoebox.
Okay.
We played it the way that we recorded it, and it was like phenomenal.
Awesome.
Like, it felt great.
Well, actually, I had everything was great the whole night, and it was, well, we had an encore, I guess, but it was our last song of the set, and everything was perfect the whole time. And then literally as we were going into the intro, the tom, like the rack tom, fell off the stand.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And our buddy Nick Bray, he's our manager. He jumped up and tried his best to fix it. And he was like panicking. He looked at me. He's like, I can't fix it. Like, I don't know what to do. I was like, I don't know, leave it, I guess. So, you know, but we played through it, and it was good. And playing it the way that it was recorded felt really good. And that was the first time that we kind of got to actually show anyone the song. And it felt really good. But yeah, like working with Mark makes such a difference. I remember like when we had our initial meeting, he asked us, he was like, well, I always ask people when they come in here, like, do you want me to just press record and, you know, start, stop, yeah, we got it kind of thing, or do you want me to produce? And we all pretty quickly, you know, said we would like you to produce or co-produce and kind of have a working relationship that way. And it's probably the best decision we've made yet is saying that, because, you know, just we all work so well with him, and that really brought out the way, I mean, the song was obviously good previously to make us want to bring it to the studio, but just it's tenfold better now that we got in there and got to put our minds together and record that. Yeah,
It must be exciting to take your other songs that you've been working on too then and go through that same, even though you said like the second time around it wasn't as smooth for the changes and everything that you're making, but
yeah,
it must be exciting just to go through your whole catalog of songs that you've
it
created
is.
already.
And I think that I mean, we expected that it wasn't, not everything was going to be great the first time and all that, but I think probably a good reason why it wasn't so smooth is that we had been in the studio and we'd worked with Mark already, and we expected more out of ourselves. So, you know, some of the things we could hear Mark already saying, maybe you should change that, or maybe you should whatever. So that's kind of why it took longer, and it was like, no, it's not quite there yet. Whereas maybe if that one had been the first song, we would have brought it in and different than it is now before we bring it in. Of course, it'll change when we get in there and record it.
For sure.
I feel like it's in better standing probably than even the first one when we brought it in. So.
And with February 3rd right around the corner, is it too early to say if you have shows coming up to support a new single out there, or
Well,
you're?
yeah.
We actually we don't have any coming up as of right now in the month of the release, but actually the beginning of the next, we are looking into
exactly a month after, I think, is it?
well, a month and a day or whatever, you know. But yeah, we have a show on March 4th again down at Shoebox But
Cool.
as of now, that's what we have. Yeah.
I'll be sure to put that down on my calendar after this.
Yeah, for
Make
sure,
sure I
man.
catch that one. Yeah, you know how close I am. I could pretty much just walk there if I want to. So.
For sure.
So if anybody that's listening to this too is managing a venue and looking to get you guys, they also know that you can work on the fly too, because the drums can blow up and you'll just play the song anyway. So
Well, yeah, you kind
just make sure that the crowds are like 6 feet away from the stage.
yeah,
Yeah, it's not a bad idea to be honest.
yeah.
We like to encourage them to push up as much as we can, but stuff happens. You never know.
Yeah.
And now in the years that you guys have been playing, because you've all been playing for quite a while as well, is there other bands that you've been playing with, like around the area, or?
I wouldn't say really playing with so much, because I think we've had 3 shows.
Yeah.
We had 3 shows so far. We actually played the last one as the headline for. We had a band for PEI come over, the Absolute Losers. They were sick. They were great. Good guys. Super talented. Super nice to us. So it was a really good night. But that was the only show that we did. And in terms of other bands, I mean, we haven't really been in the mix, but Mark's band, the Giants, like, we're obviously working with Mark now, and we kind of will show up for if one of the members are playing down at Shoebox or something, or we're just around. But be Mark, and then mostly the other band I'd say we've been associating with is Stonehouse.
Okay, yeah.
Stonehouse, the guys there got me started on my solo shows down at the Spot, and that's kind of how I started playing even around the area. So
Okay, cool.
yeah, well,
Just like helping us with like contacts. Like,
yeah.
before we'd ever been in contact with Shoebox. Like I remember Pat. You were talking to Pat, and he was the one who kind of said, like, if you guys are looking to play and like take it serious and stuff, you should reach out to Shoebox, and if you need some help, like, getting a hold of the right people, then I'll help you out and stuff. And obviously, we really appreciate that.
Yeah, well, you found the right contacts right away anyway around here. So
Yeah.
You
Guess
knew who
we
to talk to.
Well, right, and then the Shoebox music mixer
Yeah.
was actually, I would say it was pivotal for us, really. That's when we met.
Well,
Mark.
I first saw you guys there. I didn't get to talk to you much because you were up with Mark, and he had monopolized your time right after that. I just fell in love with you. So I'd seen you guys around town a couple times since, but you're always together.
Always, yeah, that is.
So that's you guys. I'm assuming some of that is because you're recording, and then I'm just seeing you either before or afterwards and stuff like that. But you guys seem to be like all best friends as well. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, before any of this, we were just best friends first. Brady and I are first cousins, but I've been best friends with John for I don't know,
A few years now.
4 or 5 years now, maybe
5 or 6 maybe.
something like that. Yeah, quite a while, and just spend as much time as we could together even before this, and then. I was in school, and John was in school for a period, and so was Brady, so we all kind of went our separate ways. And part of us maybe being together so much, obviously it's because we're in the band, but finally we get to all be in the same place, so it's kind of like taking advantage of that, I guess. But the other thing is, like, we live together.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it seems to be just like when one of us is like, oh, I'm going here to do this, the other one's like, oh, sweet, I'm coming. You know what I mean?
Common interest.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And
that makes sense.
but it's hilarious that whenever, like, lots of times we'll go somewhere and people will be like, oh, the whole band's here. And it's like, well, yeah, but also, like, we're,
We were also just at Sobeys getting groceries together, too.
Yeah, exactly.
like, it's like, we also just do, like you said, anything and everything together. So
Yeah, well, and when I was looking for your social media accounts and stuff too, like, see, you're on Instagram and TikTok as well. So you guys are like loaded for material when you start promoting your singles coming out, because you could just turn the phone on like at any given hour during the day and probably capture something you could post. So.
Exactly. And that is something that we're actually very cognizant of, is, making sure that we have things to put out there, because we can be in our kitchen where we practice, we can be there and do as much as we want, but if we're not kind of showing people what we're doing or what's going on or what we have coming up, then I guess what would it be for,
Mm-hmm.
if we can't share that? So Brady, to his credit, does a great job of planning a lot of that out and comes up with a lot of great ideas for promotion or even just being active in social media, just so people can see who we are or what we're doing, you know.
And you guys do have a Linktree. I saw that. It's what is the address? Linktree.
That'd be a you.
Ooh, it might be Linktree at official Whygo.
There you go. I'll put a link in the description for this video as well. So
Yeah.
you can find it down there.
Shouldn't be far off of that, but I can't remember off the top of my head. And I also didn't make it, so I don't know.
Fair enough.
But it's in our Instagram bio.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Official
It's there.
The link in bio trick.
Yeah, the old
Yeah.
Lincoln bio trick.
Classic.
We
Yeah.
had that for the show when it was coming up for tickets, but once the show was gone, we're like, link in bio for,
Anything.
we're here.
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
Come
Yeah.
check us out for I don't know.
Awesome. So is there anything else you want to say to people about what to expect the year ahead before we sign off here?
Yeah, for sure. I got some things.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is that we knew that this was a huge jump for us to start a band, and we knew some people here, not everybody, but a good enough amount to, take the leap, and also a good amount of people that might know us personally or whatever know something about our story that maybe wasn't mentioned yet, but we've all had like our little periods of school and stuff, but there's actually like more of a deadline than people realize, just because this group is kind of also a proving ground right now to see if we can keep somebody from going back to school. So we have technically what we were looking at was like the year to have enough traction as a band. So I guess my sign off to say is you guys stick with us if you want us to stick around, because it's kind of the only shot you have. Our only shot.
No, but in all seriousness, it originally like we didn't really mean to start a band.
Yeah.
I mean, just happened from, well, it just was as organic as you could imagine, just from being around each other and sharing a love for music. And originally I was thinking I was going to go back to school, just it was a gap year, but then we started doing this and it felt too good,
So now I want to know if the people that were watching this could tell by looking at your faces that it was you.
I would assume probably.
Definitely.
But no, I mean, it's I love doing this with these guys more than anything, and so plans change.
Oh yeah.
But John, maybe tell them what we're working on.
All right. Well, I think before or after our shoebox show, I think we're looking at recording an EP. So that'll probably be, what do you think? Late summer, midsummer by that time?
I would say for summer.
Yeah.
For the summer by the time that'll be ready to come out. So that'll be all fun recording that, and
Good timing. A lot of outdoor opportunities for performances, especially, I mean, Nova Scotia in general, but especially around Pictou County. We have like a festival every weekend.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And we're also the type of guys that just love playing as much as we can.
Yeah.
Just it's fun enough for us to do when we're practicing in our kitchen, but just to be able to share that experience with people is just, that's why we do it, obviously.
And what are you looking forward to most then for the next few months? You got the EP that you will eventually have coming out.
Yeah, I'm pumped for that EP. I love being in the studio. It was like the best day ever being in there. Like, super fun. That and then the Shoebox show, of course, again,
Yeah.
March 4th. That was amazing. The last show that we played there, like, had a great turnout. It was electric. It was great.
Lots of time for people to hear this interview and check out your single and get tickets then.
Yeah, of course.
And I imagine then your next single won't be till a little bit after that. So maybe getting closer to that, if you guys want to reach out again, we'll
Absolutely.
see how the journey's been going for you, and
Yeah,
if
of
there's
course.
any new shows to plug or whatever. And by all means, send us a note if there's anything you want us to mention in our socials or on the podcast.
Absolutely.
Of course, yeah.
And if anyone that's listening to the YouTube bonuses, we do have a bi-weekly podcast as well with interviews with musicians all around the East Coast. So I think the next episode is January 25th, so this should be out by then, and then bi-weekly from there all year. Those have companion playlists as well, so be sure to throw your single into one of those and
That's awesome. Yeah.
keep us up to date with the release schedule, and we'll work you into other ones throughout the year for sure.
For sure. Yeah. So we'll let you know when we have more shows, but right now it's definitely the focus of just finishing the writing and
Mm-hmm.
essentially the production for the EP, and then getting in there and you know, us and Mark going at it again, and hopefully, you know, producing something pretty great. So
And where's the single being released? Is it
everywhere, anywhere that you get music.
Okay, perfect. So everyone can take a look out for that, and there's a link tree in the description for the video. And thank you guys for coming by today.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thanks for
Yeah,
having us.
thank you.
Because I sold my soul to the love, and all the love is for